This is Justin Amazon on Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. I just wanted to kind of zoom out yesterday and today and look at how well the lines are working in here. So the line at 1972.50, 1990, 2005, 2013, 2025, 57. Didn't quite get to that one. Wasn't as clean as some of these other ones where we just came right into these lines. They're working really well. Today, we had an initial rally, came right in here. We really held this as, I don't want to say as a low necessarily, but the open on this candle, the close on this one, open on this one, basically the close on this one, and then the open on this one. Like all these opens and closes right in a row. Then to see it run up right here, look at this, comes right into 2013, sells back down, pushes above, and we're just kind of bouncing around on it. And then very similar here, similarly here, what we held here for this, the opens and closes, we held here for some opens and closes and even a high, rolled back down, had a really, really nice bounce off of the low 2005 25. And this candle off of the 5 minute on the option was amazing. Bounced with a high wave candle. You could have easily been getting it on this candle. I'll show you the option. That rallied, retested, and held the 2013 again. So basically we had resistance at 2013, broke through it with a hammer, continued on, pulled back into that hammer, into the same resistance, retesting a support. And then from there, we were off to try and hit 2025, 57. I thought I was going to get there. And I mean, still, you're within $1 of it. And so that's close enough to be taking something off, taking profits there. And then the rest of the day, we just kind of chopped around a little bit. It's actually a bit of a rollover here at this point, because we did have a deeper pullback than this one, something a little more similar to this kind of a pullback in range. Just took a little more time to go, basically about $9. I think this was more like 12. So anyway, if we look at the option, this is the 2025 call. You can see how we rallied right out the gate. You could have had an order sitting out there at $4, a little bit above the high. Well, no, yeah, really right at the high of yesterday. This would have been like 4x3. And to know it was gapping up pre-market, that probably would have been a nice setup, 4x3. If you're a little more conservative, you could go out a little further to the 2050 for looking to get a $100 risk in case you didn't want to do 4x3 here. Going out a few more strikes or going out to the 2050 would have also worked. But then, some of this is just some chop as it's going up, but this retest, this is the candle at 1020 that retested down here. Am I at 3 minute again? Man, I didn't realize I was on a 3 minute again. Let's switch back to the 5 minute. My bad. Okay, let's see how well this. Yeah, that's not as clean on a 5. That's amazing on a 5. That's what I thought. Okay. I was looking at this on a 5 minute. I didn't realize. I just had to restart the program. I was looking at this on a 5 minute, and then when it opened up, I didn't realize I was on the 3. Sorry. Okay. So again, here, this is a really nice candle on the option, right at 1020, right here. After that candle, as we break out, you could really be setting this up like 550 by 450, and that's your setup. And you take that either back up into this high around 850, so that's 3R, or you let it ride, and the option ends up doubling, from 550 up to 11. Or even like 1150, that would have been 6R to get out up there. And I would have been aiming for the 6R. I probably would have wanted 7R up at 1250, thinking it was going to actually hit this line right here. But I would have been trailing my stop up as it went. And then as it's pushing up here, it's like, okay, 5 candles in a row. Let's get a stop up under this one with this. Is this a shaved bottom? The open and the low, they're close. And then probably would have been, if I didn't move my stop up again, I probably would have been trailed out on this that candle at 105. Let's see, at 105. Yeah, so if I had my stop up here at 950, I would have been locking in from 550 up to 950. That would have been 4R. I would have been locking in 4R, would have been stopped out, probably with a little bit of slippage that happens, looking for 450 here. But again, I would have been giving up probably another 2R, just letting that pull back that much. And so it's always nerve-wracking to do that if you really wanted to take it as it's moving up. And that's where I would say, if you don't want to hold through that kind of a pullback, just get out. Get out as it's moving in your direction. You're going to leave something on the table every time. Just get out at the price you want to get out at, and don't hope that it's going to keep moving up. Don't hope for that 1250 where you could just take 1150 when you're staring at it right here, or get your stop right up here at 11. And don't worry about it if it pulls back into 11 and then goes up to 1250. It's like, okay, you still got out at 11. You doubled the option. And so that's how you can get into, if you're watching it, what you can do to kind of avoid some of those nerves, or guessing at where it's going to go. We've got the setup. It didn't quite get up to 2025 57. Didn't quite get there, but it came close enough that if you were watching this, could have taken profit. Now, if you weren't watching it, you would have still needed to move your stop up, or you just set a reasonable target. And that target, a little more conservatively, would have been hitting below this line anyway, probably down in here, maybe 2020. And so, not 2020, 2022, maybe 2022.50. So that would have been setting a target probably around 1050 or 11. I mean, 1050, if you got in at 550, that's 5R. If you weren't able to watch it, I probably would have had a target set up at like 850 or 950, or 850 or 9. And so that would have been 3R. And that was hit, within the first half hour of getting in. And I mean, that is a great move right there, to be in and out so quickly. And so, there's ways you can play this where you just set it up and leave it. And that would have been getting in here and hitting a target here. And you can walk away and be done for the day with 3R, not even watch it, just having set it up for that kind of a candle. You can have an alert set up, to get you in, or to tell you to look at it. But when that happens, you got to look at it quick, because in this case, it moved the next 5-minute candle. So if the alert went off that it was, let's say you had an alert, you wanted it to touch this line. Well, probably set an alert a little bit above, like at 206, in case it doesn't quite come into 2005, sorry, in 2006. Even buying here, I think, would have worked. This is 1115, 1125, wait, 1120, 1125. So that was these, 1120. So that was 7. You would have had to buy 7 by 6 to have a $100 risk. And that, I don't know if I would have done that with that candle. I would have wanted to be below that one at 550. If you were in down here, you could have done add and reduce at 7. So add at 7, and you move your stop up to probably 6. That way, let's see, would that have worked? 7, 6 would have been up in half an R, down an R. So yeah, you're only losing half an R, but that's not what you want to do when you add or reduce. You want to make it so you stay profitable. I don't know if that would have worked for add and reduce. So if you're just buying here, the other thing to do there is to get in on this candle as it's bouncing, looking for that to continue, because it's bullish trend. You're making highs on the day. You've kind of plateaued here a bit, but you don't know that at this point. This could just be a shallower pullback than this one, and that's what it ended up being. And you've got a nice line at 2013 that is actually holding from a previous resistance as support. So getting in on this candle at 2025, let's say you did that, that would have been getting in here. Let's say you set it up 750 by 650. You're in here at 740 before that candle closes. And then the next candle is gapping up, or nobody traded it till later in the candle at 1130. And so it was already up a little bit higher up here, probably when that person got filled. And then it went sideways again. And so even going sideways again here, pull back to 8, 8x7 would have been something you could looked at. But again, just looking for 2R because you're already further up on a bullish day. You're actually getting in right at the resistance. And that's really not the best place to be getting in. But in this case, it worked because people were buying high and selling higher. And it just worked today. For tomorrow, and it'd be nice to get a little bit bigger of a pullback into any of these lines, looking for any sort of indecision to then reverse and bounce. So something like this happening again at 2013, 2005, and look for 2Rs going bullish. I would not be surprised if we actually made a new all-time high tomorrow. The way that this moved, we've got continued increasing volume, continuing to make a higher high every day since what was it, the month began, right? No, since the 26th. I forgot now what it was. This whole month we've been making higher highs. The 26th, and then so the 27th was our first higher high, and we continue to make a higher high every day since the 27th. Every day we've made a higher high. That shows you the bulls are in control. We've got increasing volume every day since the holiday, or since the short day before the 4th of July in the U.S. holiday. I would not be surprised if we made a new all-time high tomorrow. With this gap, this is a bullish retest gap. It retested today. I mean, it's wrong way. You know, this pre-market retest, this retest, I mean, this is just amazing to see it continue to move up like this. And it should be. It should be continuing bullish in such a strong move. We got the rest in here. We had some sideways action. We're moving so much stronger than we did back in here. You know, we rested for 2 months. This time we rested for 2 weeks, and then we're continuing. This is such a strong bullish move, and this is looking stronger now than what we did back here. And we made all-time highs, ultimately to 20.50 and 50 cents. So that's what I'm saying. We should get there, if not tomorrow. I was saying probably by Tuesday. I just didn't expect it to make this candle today. Yeah, we could definitely be making all-time highs this week, if not tomorrow. And then should happen by Tuesday. I'd be surprised if it didn't hit this X marks the spot and at least made the same high. But somebody's going to be buying at 20, 50, and 51 cents, and it'll make a new all-time high and then possibly pull back a little bit or into some of these lines like it did the very next day here. You know, we had 4 bullish candles in a row here off of a bullish gap and go at an all-time high. We've had now 6 bullish candles in a row. You know, I'm cautiously bullish. I want to make sure I'm defining. I went the wrong way again. I want to make sure I'm defining my risk off of these lines, and that's why, you know, it's great to see these lines working so well. So being able to buy at 2005, I mean, you could have been buying off of the 2005 low. You could have been buying off the 2013 low because it's worked to pull back into it. And that's what happened yesterday. You could have been buying this low. Once we got above 1972.50, it pulled back into 1972.67. You know, 17 cents off of it. Could have been buying right here. We didn't really get an opportunity to buy off of 1990. That was where we hit resistance at 1990 and 1 cent. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what we could see on all-time high. Push above it by a cent or more, and then pull back, you know, with a little bit of move, or just go sideways for a little bit. That's fine too. But we didn't get a pullback fully into 1990. We were in the 1900s, the high 1900s today, and we just rallied. You know, we got this S curve, a quick one on the 5-minute. If we go back and look at a 3-minute, and I'll show you something else in a sec here. I was looking at some charts on a tighter time frame. I was looking at 1 minute. So still an S curve here. This just moved quickly. If you look at a 1 minute, and I scroll back too far. So what I was looking at earlier, but I'm like, oh wow, I wish I saw that. But look at this really nice hammer here in a 1 minute. And it's just hard to trade a 1 minute. You got to really practice that and know exactly what you're doing. Get those orders in quickly. But the 1 minute here You know, let's look at just this. Your 1 minute is holding up so well here and then here. And then what do? You come back right into it and you hold it again. This just shows you so much more bullishness where it's bouncing on the 1 minute. You know, this looks like this looks like a head and shoulders here, starts to break down, we come right back into the 2005 level, and then we just rally off of that. And you see we're quickly back up here to that shoulder. We push past the shoulder. You just have these similar sized candles that every minute it's just making the same, printing the same kind of range, like a little less than $1 range, just rallying. Nice hammer here. So hammer here off of these lines. We get that next pullback into 2013. Dip a little bit below. Look at all these bears here, you know, taking this lower, you know, looking for this to break down. I mean, this is a double top on a 1 minute. Breaks down, retests, comes right back into this level, doesn't even make a low. This is all the bears getting in here, pushing it below this low, and doesn't even get below this one. And then, you know, rallies again, coming right into, there you go, that resistance at 2018, starts to roll over again. Doesn't work, pushes on through. Every time it pulled back by, you know, a few candles, even on the 1 minute, it got bought back up. So, you know, it just shows you the bull under control. But what I did is I actually scrolled back too far. I was doing this on my phone, and I saw yesterday's open, and I didn't even see this on the 1 minute. But look at these 1 minute candles. Look at this hammer. Look at that. And then you had a really small candle. You could have set up your trade to get in bullish above that and stop below it. That's it. I mean, look at it like this. Look at that. I mean, just the first one. That one alone, go bullish above that. Look at all those bears trapped. Then you get this one, and it's like, is it the same high? Penny off the high. You got bulls coming in. Okay, get in above, stop below. You had, sorry, scroll isn't working. You had an entire minute here. I mean, you had, while this candle formed, you could be getting the trade set up. This candle comes in and your trade is set. This candle comes in, you're in, or you're sending the order now. So you had 3 minutes really to get it set up, to get in above this. Let's call it 2 minutes. And then even the next candle, you had a small retest here where you could have still been filled with an entry here and a stop here. And I mean, that just worked. But the 1 minute is amazing to see this. You know, when you have time to look back at it, if you're not used to it, don't just jump into a 1 minute. I mean, get down to that level. But this is going back over yesterday, actually. So, you know, hindsight helps just to get better at what to look for. That's an incredible bounce, right? Or a incredible open where you just get in above it. So apply these hammers to that kind of movement on today's chart of 1 minutes. You don't have the same open, so you're looking for a hammer. Well, there's one. We didn't ever get below that hammer. Here's some hammers in here, not right off of the line though. Then you get to this hammer-ish candle off the line. You get to this one. We never took out this low. The low here is 2012.57. The low here was 2012.69. Yeah, so we didn't get back to 2012.57. We held that low. Now, I'm not saying get in and take this on the 1 minute. You know, you're going to run out of buying power pretty quickly doing this on a 1 minute on Amazon. But if you can get your option set up that, you know, you've got the right option either at the money or near the money, and you can have a trade set up, you know, this is your signal on a 1 minute where you might be playing it on a 3 or something, or you're waiting, you see that candle and you're waiting for it to, you know, pull back right into the range so you have time to set up, because you didn't have to set it up on the very next candle or during this one. That would have been 1-2 minutes to set up the trade, which you can do. You can get better at doing that. Or you set it up and it's like, okay, I'm gonna leave this open. I want it to pull back a little bit more on the option, but I like this level, and you get back right into that level and it works. So that would have been, that was in here, you know, so that would have been this was that hammer, right, at 10:35. Well, not that hammer, but 10:43. Oh, 10:43 is that hammer. So that would have been in here. still that range, we're in the low sevens. So getting something set up where it pulls back a little bit more into 7 by 650 by that candle, or 7 by 6 to be with our $100 risk, something like that. You know, that's what we just went over earlier in the video. So let you go back and look at that again if you want to. But some great opportunities. This looks like a big move to get in bearish, right? We're way up. No, let's switch back to a 5. We're way all the way up here, and now we start to roll over. Well, you don't know it's a rollover. I mean, look at it like this. Right here, it should hit, you know, it should hit 2025.57. That's what it's looking like. 4 candles in a row. Okay, it can rest a little bit. It can pull back. I'm fine with that. You know, I'm even fine with this candle closing below this one. I mean, sure, we could totally retest back into 2018 and then continue up. That's totally fine. So I don't want to just be saying, oh yeah, go bearish here. You know, we do come back into 2018. We're there, right? 2018. Oh, not quite. Okay, we're into 2018 here. We've retested this intraday resistance that broke out. You know, we've got a lot of bearish candles in a row now. You didn't know to go bearish up here. It didn't give you a really good inverted hammer off of this. It gave you an evening star reversal. But I mean, we've had some of those at not great locations, like anywhere in here where it didn't really push back that far. This one had probably, you know, if you're looking for evening star reversal, you know, it didn't even touch this line to get in there and do it there. I would have probably been saying, look for an evening star reversal to take bearish somewhere in here. You know, you got inverted hammer, evening star reversal. Okay, go bearish. Well, it didn't get in. It didn't get below the low, you know, soon enough. So you cancel the trade. By the time it's over here, your trade's canceled and you don't even want to take that anymore. It's just hovered in this area for too long. This one, you know, you're up here. Okay, evening star reversal. Great. I can get in below this, but what else is telling me to go bearish here? You know, I want to tighten up my stop in my bullish trade. I don't want to go bearish at this point. And so we come back down and we're chopping around through 2018. We keep bouncing off of where this cursor's at about 2018 here, 2017.50, somewhere in there. Bouncing off of that, ultimately form this little triangle here that starts to break out. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll rally. Well, no, we just go sideways. Sideways for the last, you know, almost 2 hours after another day with a big move. So this is a rest today, just like the last 2 hours was a rest, 2.5 hours was a rest yesterday. That, you know, opens the door for, because we're resting, we're moving and then we're resting, it could continue higher. You can get the move again in the morning and then a rest in the afternoon. And if we get to all-time highs, you know people are going to be buying up there, and you know some people are going to be selling up there. Probably more people selling because it's at an all-time high. And then we'll see if we get a little bit more of a pullback instead of just a rest. But we'll see. So that's my thoughts on how things move today and how it could continue tomorrow. Let's see. We are near the money on this option. Well, what was the price today? We closed at 2017.77. Is that the same daily? No, 2017.41 is where we closed on the daily. So we pulled back a little bit, got a little bit of an upper wick. That means there's some sellers that came in and pushed us down a little more than we got pushed down from yesterday, where these were the high and the close were $2, less than $2 apart from each other. Today, the high and the close are $7, $8 away from each other. A little more bears came in today, you know, to push us down from the high we made. So if we get back up, if we could gap up, we're trapping some bears. You will be at the money for 2025. That means 2025 call. Look for, man, 10 by 9 may be too tough because that's not very much range compared to how this played out today. So I don't want to say get in 10 by 9. That seems too risky. So I would say maybe go out a little bit. It's Thursday. We're going to lose some more premium on this. If we gap up when we're opening at 2025, you could probably still get in like 2 by 1 on the 2050 call, or you could do 3 by 2. I'm a little more comfortable with 3 by 2 here because we gap up, we should be around between 3 and 250 on the call. And if you got your stop down at 2, I mean, it needs to move bullish right out the gate. If it doesn't rally right out the gate, look to buy at 2, because that was the low that we made in here. But look for a continuation pattern. Look for a bullish hammer off of the 2025.57 price, something like that. And then the next line that I've got is the high, the all-time high. So we're right at, we only got this line and this line, and then I've got to draw some more lines if we go higher. This is the first time we've gotten back into this line. I think I drew it, the high on August 30th last year was the price that we didn't quite get to today. And, we didn't get there the next day after it. We were somehow intraday interacted with that line only a couple times. So this line, I don't have as much data to go off of to say, oh, it should be this price, I grabbed that all-time high because that was where the bears really came in and pushed it lower. But, if it didn't work as well here, and this is the next time that we've gotten there, it's a line that I don't have as much confidence in without going back here to figure out, did it work so well intraday? But because I left it there out of the high of the day, I probably did something these days, maybe this day. So I don't want to move the line now. We'll see if we interact with it, see if we can open up above this and get a retest to it. Or we can get a retest back into where we closed today, around 2018, 2017, 50, something like that. Because that was a nice resistance today that we broke out of and then bounced off of. So see if we can get a pullback back into this range, even into 2013 would be phenomenal. And then look for a buy. You can go with absolute zero if you do 1 by 0. If we're pulling back a little bit, look for a 1 by 0 or less than a 1 on the 2050. Just know that you're risking that. That's your entire risk, so do it appropriately. And if we were to do, let's say 2030, where's this one at? So that came into 4, a low of 3. If we pull back a little bit, look for us to get in the range down here again and to have some choppiness, like a $2 price down in here for the 2030. And then if we can get going bullish, that's going to get in the money quick, which means it's going to be, spiking up to around 5 or 4. And then, it'll, Thursday will hold some premium there, but Friday it'll get sucked out again if we haven't moved up. So, just look at how these have moved. Like this one, we were inside the high. You could have had an order set up with the low. Maybe you had an order set up to get in at 3. I don't know if it filled. I doubt it filled. But after it rallied there, you're looking for any sort of pullback, and you want to pull back to a whole dollar. 5 we were contending with up here. That wasn't it. 4 was the next number. Or, moved up a little bit from this. You could do 4 by 3. Maybe, that was a great open where we just rallied on these options. So 4 by 3 could have worked. And you're holding up to 7 right into the high here. And so you got 3R. And if you held longer, you got 4R or 5R. The 2050 was also a good one today because, again, with the pricing here, the low, we opened up under 2, which was, we were right in the range that we got into the highs yesterday. So you could have really had something set up like 175, getting in here. Or if you didn't have it set up at the open, you just wait. And you could have gotten in here for 175 or anywhere over here for 175 and a stop down at 75 or stop at 1 or 125. You could have even done just 2 by 1 or 2 by 150. I mean, after this candle came in, 2 by 150, I'd say. And then that moved from, well, if you did 2 by 1, that moved up to 4, barely got there. That would have been 2R, probably been scalping some at 3, just getting an R gain. But that's still the 2050 call. So we got to see something moving in that direction to get up there, tomorrow, if you're going to trade this option. It's just a little further away. And so just be mindful that you're going to get a lot of this chop. And when you're getting this chop, look to buy at a low or below a low. Like this made a new low. Could have been buying it yesterday at a new low from what it made earlier in the day. This would have been a great episode zero. Buy it one, flip it out of the open for 2 or 3, ultimately 4. But yeah, that would have been a nice episode zero and such a bullish move. So didn't quite get down that far today. Didn't make as much of a low, but maybe somebody was getting in at $2 at the close today, and they'll be able to flip it out at 3 in the morning. I don't know. So if I remember, I'll try and take a look at that option again tomorrow. But hope this helps. Hope this makes some sense. And we'll be back tomorrow to see how things move. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.